Last time on Entertaining People, we were planning our party. Today, join us as we bring our guests in and the party begins. I'm Porter William, and I've been entertaining, event planning, and cooking for over 25 years. Finally, I get to share my secrets with you. No matter if you have a one-room apartment or a grand scale estate, we'll learn how to entertain from San Francisco to the beaches of Spain, from menu planning to tablescapes. I'll teach you how to entertain from the heart. From a memory, make a memory. Join me as we entertain the world one table at a time, next on Entertaining People. This week on Entertaining People is a classic American Sunday soul dinner with chicken and dumplings and meatloaf and collard greens. Don't miss this. Come right back. And all that we really need to do right now is start to put together our dumpling mix. Dumplings are also, I think, kind of like a family legacy. You really do have to get them under your hand, just like baking a loaf of bread. Sometimes, actually, they've never really come out perfectly. My mother's come out perfect every single time. You want a dumpling light and airy, and it's going to be a doughy top over the top of our chicken and dumplings. So what I have here is basically a couple cups of a pre-mixed biscuit, and I'm going to add a little bit of milk. And I like my dumplings to be really thick, so I actually mix them just with a fork so I can control the consistency. That's thickening up on us. One of my favorite things is to add fresh parsley or even dried parsley if you don't have it into the batter. So we're gonna whip that where it's almost spoon thick, like a spoon biscuit that we could drop on top. You can see how that's coming together. That looks perfect. We'll let that sit there right now. And then I'm gonna pull some fresh parsley from my board. And the way to chop this really quick is just to simply grab it, fold it over once, and then fold it over again. Take your knife, and you'll get a nice clean. Now these we do want in small, teeny pieces. We don't want big bites of parsley. This is really just to give it flavor. Once you get to half of it, flip it and turn it again, and continue. Watch those fingers chopping through that parsley. There we go. Let's cross over there. Fresh smell. Oh, so good. And I like that to go right into my batter. Okay, we're gonna mix all of that in. And you can see that the biscuit mix is starting to activate just a little bit. And I can tell by the pull. There it is. That's the consistency you're after, so that when you pick up a big spoon, you can actually put it into your pot of chicken and dumplings. Let's see how the broth on our chicken and dumplings is doing. It is very important that it's not too runny. And every time I do this, it's different, so you just simply have to learn. All right, so that's boiling really heavy, and we have quite a bit of liquid here. What I'm going to show you how to do is with a tempered glass, what I do is I just reach in and I grab about a full cup of that broth. I'm going to bring that back over to my board. Keep your flour handy. You're always going to need it. We're going to add just a little bit of flour to this. Very quickly with a fork, I just do what we often call a slurry. It's just basically, I also have a gravy shaker, which is really good for this. You can see how thick that got. I'm going to just add a tad of milk. The reason why I want to keep it turning is so that it doesn't get lumpy. And that coming right back over into our chicken and dumplings. We're going to put that in, and I want you to watch how those bubbles subside almost quickly, almost instantly. That's going to thicken up. We're going to leave the heat up and let that reduce for just a second with the top off before we add our dumplings. I'm going to let the dumpling batter just sit over here on the stove as this reduces, and just check back. I'm going to look back every now and then and see how it's doing, but I want this to go down probably about another 1/8 in volume, that I know I've got a really thick, beautiful broth. This week on Entertaining People, it's a classic American Sunday soul dinner with chicken and dumplings and meatloaf and collard greens. Don't miss this. Come right back. That's what we've been looking for. Did you see how that all reduced with just a little bit of slurry from our broth? Now you can also make a slurry out of just milk and flour, but I like to use the broth because it just intensifies the flavor. Before I put my dumplings in, we're going to add some seasoning. Black pepper. I love black pepper in the chicken and dumplings. And I'm actually just going to anticipate probably the need for a little bit of salt in this. We do have a lot of vegetables, and those vegetables are absorbing quite a bit of the flavor that's in there. We can salt it at the table as well. We'll correct the broth right as soon as we're done. Let's just give that one last turn. The secret to chicken and dumplings is that you're basically going to make a stage out of these vegetables. You want to pull those big ones to the top, and that's what our dumplings are going to rest on. Here's our mixture that we made earlier. And the way that, there's only one way for me to do it. You take a big spoonful, and with your hand, you drop it right on top. We're going to try to make each one of these a single serving. One. You see how that's just floating up top there? The steam is going to come up and cook those. Two. You can't do this without your finger. I guess you could be fancy with 2 spoons, but in my house, when we're entertaining people, we use our hands. It's all family. Let's do this one. 1, 2, 3. We've got 4. Set that one right there. I always love making them extra. 5. Let's float that. 6 people for dinner, including me. I've got my friends Yvonne and Deborah coming over. A couple other folks that you're going to love to meet. I think that is it. Now, cover it. This is going to absolutely bake just like it should in a Dutch oven. That's my Aunt Carlina's pot that I got with her in Southern Oregon. I've had that for years and years and years. You really should invest in a good Dutch oven. They're not cheap, but this one's about 15 years old, and it's going to go my entire lifetime. Look at that, a beautiful black California olive. When we were kids, we used to put them on our fingers and run it all around. I swear my parents did that just to keep us out of the kitchen. Anytime you have a Sunday dinner, do a simple relish tray. I've got some olives, I've got the celery, the carrots, and some radishes. And instead of slicing them, I like to just reach in there, grab a fresh one, twist it off, pull the top, have a bite. Gets everybody talking and they enjoy the time. This week on Entertaining People, it's a classic American Sunday soul dinner with chicken and dumplings and meatloaf and collard greens. Don't miss this. Come right back. If you're just joining us, I'm Porter William, and this is Entertaining People. All these recipes for this great American Sunday soul dinner can be found at entertainingpeople.com. I love it when you go online. Let's see how the chicken and dumplings came out. I smelt them earlier. Oh, that is just perfect. Do you see how those puffed up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When we serve this, tonight it's all family style, so that these plates, these pots, these hot pots are going right to the kitchen table. You're gonna scoop that out. Let me show you, that's exactly what you want. See how firm that is? Perfectly cooked, wonderful chicken and dumplings. Now that it's done, this is the best part of Sunday dinner. You simply turn it off, put the lid on, and this is just gonna continue to stay warm until our guests arrive, which is in about an hour. Let's see how our collard greens are doing. Now, we went from that bright green to this beautiful, beautiful, dark, intense color, and that's the pot liquor that we were talking about. You see the shank down there? This is how you know it's done. That shank is smoked and the bone is pulling away. So we've rendered the fat and all the flavor, and we're just gonna let that sit there. That says Sunday all the way, an American classic. Collard greens with pot liquor. My family hails a little bit from the South, Oklahoma, Arkansas, so we have some East Coast, some West Coast. And then lastly, we had our sweet tea, and that's what it looks like when it's done. I'm gonna actually grab a fork and pull my tea bags out. And I'm just gonna discard them right onto my chopping block. Set them right there. How many went in? I think it was 5. Usually that's it. And then I'm gonna set this behind me to cool while we make our dessert. We'll come back to that sweet tea. Well, Nella wafers, as I used to call them, me and my brother, and I think all of us as kids, little great, sweet little Nella wafers. They were great. They were so good. I think we thought it was the absolute best menu of all when my mom would make Nella wafer and bananas. So I'm kind of doing it just a little bit dressier. She usually made it in a pie pan, a 9-inch pie pan. She lined the pie pan with the vanilla wafers, and then she took her bananas, and I was always amazed at how my mother could do that, but she'd just sit there with one finger and she'd just go chop, chop, chop until they were just wafer thin. If you're not familiar with those types of knife skills, and I certainly wasn't, my mom knew how to do it. The other way, let me get through this one, is kind of do it like the regular folk, where you just put the bananas together and take those ends off. Those aren't too tasty, a little bitter, and we're just gonna slice. Beautiful, perfect banana disc. I'm gonna use an instant pudding that's available anywhere. In the old days, we had to cook it, and you can actually chill it down in the refrigerator for several hours, but the instant pudding simply does the job for you. All right, let me show you how I'm gonna actually set up my bowl. I have my Nilla wafers, and I've already built this one. You're just gonna lay them. These are individual trifle dishes. If you're not familiar with the trifle, an English trifle is a layered dessert, usually with creams and berries and jams, things like lady fingers or sponge cakes. But you wanna put the round side to the outside. We're entertaining people, so we're gonna do it a little bit nicer for this Sunday dinner, even though these are really just close friends and it's not gonna matter, but I want everybody to be able to see what they have in their dish right through the inside of the glass. I'm doing 6 of these. I need to start with my instant pudding. I'm just gonna start with 1 package, which requires 3 cups of milk, and we're gonna play this half and half. I like a little bit more body in this pudding, so I'm also using a little bit of cream. And if you want, you can go to a half and half. And once you have the base dairy incorporated, you could even go to a fat-free half and half. However, you don't really want to use fat-free milk in this. How we're getting that lovely eggy look. So that would be our first cup and a half. Now let's add some thick cream. This is gonna really make it lovely. And watch these colors come together. Okay, like to beat that 2 or 3 swirls. And then just with your knife in your hands, we're gonna pick up a great bunch of bananas, put them right inside. Try not to knock down the sides there. Should probably be just a little bit more delicate with that. There we go. Everyone in the pool, all the bananas in. What a simple, basic American dessert. Good old vanilla instant pudding, Nilla wafers, and a banana. There isn't a Sunday around that you're not going to be able to find these ingredients. Once that's in place, take your instant pudding, which is already thickening up. Nice big hit. Grab a spoon, and we're going to pour this right over the top of each one. Lovely. Oh, creamy, delicious. I'm having memories of sneaking the end of it. We always had a rule in the family that we had to save a serving for my dad, but I tell you, my brother and I, we got in so much trouble. Now, always top a dessert with the ingredient that's inside. You want to be pretty quick with the bananas because you don't want them to turn brown, so you want to kind of tuck those in there, and then just how about 2 Nilla wafers right over the top. There we go. And that is Mom's Nilla wafer and vanilla pudding, always on a Sunday dinner. Our sweet tea is cooled, and I'm just having a memory. Food memories are so important, but I had a host family one time in Oklahoma, I believe, and they taught me how to make this sweet tea. What I love to do is just take a quick taste right before it goes in. That's how dark and beautiful it is. There's a whole different flavor when you warm brew that tea with the sugar together. I'm just gonna pour that into a pitcher. Southern sweet tea. There's nowhere in the South, in the US, that you can't get this. And in fact, I now am seeing this in some fast food American restaurants. Perfect for everybody at the table. A nice fresh lemon. What I do is I just squeeze 1 right down the side, doesn't matter. And I'm just gonna add the other one right into it. You can even use your own knife. A beautiful, beautiful sweet tea. My guests are almost here, and I've got to get the table set. I want to show you what it looks like. We're just doing a simple tablescape. But I am dying of thirst. Let me just see if I can close this. This week on Entertaining People, it's a classic American Sunday soul dinner with chicken and dumplings and meatloaf and collard greens. Don't miss this. Come right back. That meatloaf is absolutely ready. There it is. Look at that. I can smell the Italian sausage coming right off. Great. That's That's gonna feed 6 so perfectly. That's the texture and the crispiness we want, nice and firm. It's gonna slice up beautifully. I'm Porter William, and this is Entertaining People, and tonight I want to reveal to you our simple Sunday dinner table scape. We're using our everyday flatware and a simple centerpiece, nothing but river rocks, some raffia, and some fresh fruit, just so that it looks complete. So this whole centerpiece was probably under $3. Earlier we had our Southern sweet tea. What you see I have ready to pour for those who don't want an alcoholic beverage. And then I'm gonna make right now my grown-up sweet tea, which begins with a large pitcher full of ice. And I always like to do the ice at the very last minute because I use warm tea when it goes in. This just came off the stove. And we have a fresh cut lemon. So the grown-up tea, the Southern tea, is gonna be a mixture of a great whiskey, just about 1/3, so there's a slightest bit of alcoholic content in there, and we're gonna pour our cooked sweet tea on top of that. It's still steaming because it's just come off the stove, which is how sweet tea is best, poured right over ice. Oh. Those two smells combined, it's gonna be a chill, beautiful cooler, and of course, right on top, squeeze of a fresh lemon right inside. That'll mix up. Now, all of my guests are here. Next time you see us, we're gonna have everybody at the table. I think they're coming through the back door. I will be right back. I'm Porter William, and if you're just joining us, we are back for a great Sunday soul dinner, and I've got some new friends and old friends, and even new, it's kind of a new table actually. So we're gonna have a kitchen party tonight. You guys, one of the things that I have in my background is the South, and we have sweet tea in the South. I don't know if you've ever had it, but that is fresh brewed sweet tea. But I've got one over here that's a little kicked up. It's got a little bit of whiskey and some sweet tea. So is anybody not drinking tonight, or can I pour an adult beverage? You're good? Okay, are you good? All right, we'll start. So we can just pass it around. Actually, you may want to go half and half. Sunday dinner, we're going to serve this whole meal family style, which means unlike the other episodes that you've seen on Entertaining People where everything came out plated, we're just bringing out the dishes just like you did in your own house when you were young. Cheers, let's try some great sweet tea with a little bit of kick.
The radish. I grew up with them. I ate an entire can one time. Yeah, then I didn't eat them for about 10 years. Yeah, no, it was East Coast. My mom liked them.
I'm telling you, they just fed those to us constantly.
Just use them to count the number.
All right, gang, this is the buffalo blue meatloaf. I've got it all sauced up. No Southern meal would be complete without real, true collard greens with a beautiful smoked ham hock. We've had those going all day long. How about those? You can smell them from here. Oh, those are good. This is my Aunt Carlina's pot and my mother's famous chicken and dumplings. We've been on those all day. Bart, can I offer you some chicken and dumplings? All right, now the way that we did these on the stove, remember, is that we had one dumpling per person. I like it nice and big. So we've got six great friends, 6 great chickies and dumplings. We used to call them. I love it. Nice and big and juicy. I'm gonna pour that right in the bowl. On top, make sure you get plenty of the chicken and that's great. There you go. Good, Beverly? Oh, I gotta get yours before it goes. There we go. Was that a yes? You're just, all I can hear is you're breathing over there. Is that give it to me now? The chicken and dumplings. All right, let's see how we did. Salt and pepper. Start with whatever you want. First bite. Go in. Here's our chicken and dumplings. Southern style. Did you get the wishbone? Wow. You're gonna have to blow. I remember as a kid always having to blow on that. Oh. Oh my gosh, that is the bite I have been waiting for all day. Okay, who would like some collard greens? Deborah?
I would love some. Thank you.
Oh gosh, these are still steaming. This is perfect. They stay right there. I'm gonna cut you our first slice of our wonderful Sunday meatloaf. Sauced up. Who's next? So a whole bag of Buffalo Blue potato chips, our meats, 2 eggs, a little bit of herbs de Provence, the top flavor of those green herbs there. So we have desserts, a little pudding, a little Nilla wafer. Wow. What would our life have been
Takes me
without, does this take you back?
Yes, totally.
It's been another great party here at Entertaining People. I'm Porter William, and this is our tribute to the American classic Sunday dinner in your home. To make these recipes, you can go to entertainingpeople.com, log on, find the recipes. You can blog, email me. I want to hear all about your family's Sunday dinners. Join me next time as I entertain the world one table at a time. Cheers, you guys. Happy Sunday.
Cheers.